And we are back, and we just finished watching 1987's Throw Momma from the Train, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour and 28 minutes. This we actually caught on the Turner app, which is, and it's probably, I think it goes away today, but you can find it on Tubi, PlutoTV, and MGM Plus with a subscription, also to buy rent on Amazon. This is the story of a writer who is having a crazy writer's block, but also bitter because his ex-wife has found success with a story he claims she stole, although there isn't really evidence of that. And he teaches, I guess, at a local college, and he runs into, or he interacts with a student named Owen, who has a very, very overbearing mother who he has a very, I guess, love-hate relationship with. This was directed by Danny DeVito with a writing credit to Stu Silver, and stars Danny DeVito as the student with the overbearing mother. His name is Owen Lift. The mother is played by Anne Ramsey, and the blocked writer is played by Billy Crystal, and he's named Larry Donner. I'm going to go around the table and get impressions. Olive G, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was okay.
Just okay?
Yeah.
It was kind of slow?
Not really that. It's just that. What was his name?
Larry or Owen?
Larry was annoying as hell.
Larry was annoying as hell. It's funny. I think the first time I saw this, I don't think I've ever been a big fan of Billy Crystal. I know people love him a lot, especially when he did the Oscars hosting, but
Billy Crystal in general, the parts he plays, he usually plays an annoying person.
Kind of, right?
Yeah, because he's got that voice.
Right. Although I love him as Mike Wazowski.
Yes, but in some ways you could also consider Mike Wazowski a bit annoying too. But he's annoying in a sort of lovable, hopeful way.
Right.
Oh, you have something to say?
How dare you say that about my glorious king? Mike Wazowski's amazing.
He is amazing, but he can be.
Don't you dare say it! Don't you say it! I do not want to hear those words coming out of your mouth.
Annoying. Yes.
Well, I love that he's, well, especially in Monsters, like he's so like, remember there was that scene where he was like covered and he was like, oh, I made the paper.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so like everything, it wasn't perfect, but he was just so goddamn pleased about everything.
He always saw the silver lining.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he's amazing.
He's like covered up by the
logo.
address label or something.
Yeah. But he didn't care. He made the paper.
Didn't care. He made the cover of that magazine.
Yeah. But here, yes, Larry, the writer / teacher, is annoying. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Probably the worst character in the film.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Well, I think that's the point. He's supposed to be
neurotic and
bitter.
Yeah.
Just so bitter that he can't get on with his life. Mm-hmm. And that's what I guess the last line in his book was. Mm-hmm. Hate makes you impotent.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't perform.
Yeah.
In any capacity.
Yes.
That was kind of weird.
Gee, what did you think of the film?
It was good.
It was good? Who is your favorite character?
I don't know. I guess I liked Owen the best, so I guess he'd be my favorite character.
Owen's my favorite as well.
Owen was sweet.
Yeah.
He was definitely stunted. Yeah. A man-child.
Yeah.
From the way he was brought up. But it was sweet.
Yeah.
Even though he
always gets me.
Even though he wanted to
murder his mother.
Like hatch this murder plot.
What did you think of Larry G?
God, he was the worst. Worst character in the film. The film started and I already didn't like him. Like someone might feel like, this poor guy got his book stolen or whatever. But no, he was just annoying about it. Like, move on. Okay.
Everybody told him to.
Your stupid book got stolen by your ex-wife or whatever. Just get on with your life.
But, okay, I agree with you, but to play devil's advocate, aren't there people that sort of succeed no matter what? Like, the wife, she wasn't really even trying. And she just was like, she had like a horseshoe up her ass. She had the successful book. She has this accident and she gets saved. she's optioning her story for millions. I'm like, wow, some people are just born with a horseshoe up their ass.
Yeah.
She was getting that bag.
She was getting that bag.
She stole the book, got an opportunity, and she took it.
Do you think that the ex-wife had positive aura?
Yes.
And Larry did not. He had
not
negative.
at all.
He had negative
so
aura.
goddamn annoying.
But he got a pretty girlfriend at the end.
I don't care. He
All right.
didn't deserve her anyway.
He didn't
Also,
deserve her.
I didn't really care about her either.
No.
I feel like she shouldn't have been. She basically put out for him. He's like, "This is date." She's like, "Do you want to date me?" And he's like, "This isn't a date or whatever." And they're so unclear. And it was their first date or something, and they were having sex on the
she was ready to have
train.
sex with him on the kitty train.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
She was so weird.
I think was that an 80s thing? Putting out on the first date? I don't know.
Yeah, probably in movies anyway. I mean, I don't think it was happening so much in real life, but
It was
we were
weird.
children.
in
And
the movies, everybody's just hooking
what
up.
was it? And she was stupid. Like, she calls him about like murder and Margaret, and he was so stupid.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He was genuinely so stupid because why would he go and tell anybody? Like, he didn't do it, so just stay
Keep
at
your
home.
Yeah, keep your suck
In
hole
the end,
closed.
Margaret wasn't even dead.
Right.
Like, he could have just let everything blow over.
Right.
And it would have been like, oh.
Well, he
Yeah.
thought she was dead because Owen implied that she was.
I mean, he didn't imply. He said, I killed your wife.
Right.
But he didn't. So,
didn't.
if that was me and someone called me and said, I killed your ex-wife, I would just be like, I'd hang up and then I'd go about my day. Honestly, they wouldn't even kill my wife in the first place because I wouldn't have been that bitter about it. He was so annoying, yelling, oh, I wish you were dead. Slide, whatever. Like, shut your mouth.
Well, I mean, if he didn't overreact and behave the way he did, there wouldn't be any story.
That's true.
Yeah, and honestly, it wouldn't have been that bad because then I wouldn't have had to sit through an hour and a half of just being angry at everything Larry did. He was so goddamn annoying. There was nothing good about him at all.
No.
And I was actually sad when he wrote that book at the end. I was upset because I wanted him to fail for the entire movie.
Ow.
But then he wouldn't have had any growth.
I don't think he had growth, do you?
He didn't. That's
He
like,
overcame his bitterness and his rage.
But he was still annoying.
He was still annoying.
He receives criticism, and then his girlfriend Beth agrees with Owen, and he's like, "You're agreeing with the guy whose book signing was at a Toys R Us." Like,
yeah, that was
such a stupid remark, and he should have been drowned in the ocean.
he was very mean to Owen.
He was.
He was horrible. He tried murdering him. And then Owen was just like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you," or whatever. And like, that's not okay. That's not okay.
He had like all those names for him, little troll and
couch potato.
Potato.
Even they were quote unquote friends, he greeted him as, "Oh, whatever, you little couch potato."
Like Billy Crystal is this handsome leading, which goes back to the girlfriend just throwing herself at him.
He is not attractive.
Yeah. What? There was like this little fragment of time
where
in the 80s where he was like a leading man type character.
Go figure.
And I'm like looking at Billy Crystal, looking at his head. Yeah, I'm like, what was going on?
I don't
like,
know.
how did he finagle himself into this position where he was the romantic leading man?
Right. Like Meg Ryan would
Yeah.
ever date him.
And then like there was like those I think there was one or two of those movies where, what was it, Stakeout or him and Gregory Hines.
I wasn't
They were
Stakeout.
like
That
they were
was
like
Richard
cops.
Dreyfuss and I know what you're talking about. Oh my God, what was the name of that film? I saw that in the theater.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Smits was the bad guy.
It was just the one. It wasn't like a series or anything.
I could have swear there was
Scared.
I could swear there was a second one of those.
If there was, it was direct to video, and it wasn't with Gregory Hines because I think he died not too long after that.
And like he's just like the action hero leading man type character, and it's just you're Billy Crystal.
Well, there was that Analyze This and Analyze That movie. Those were really successful.
Yeah, well, that he's just playing some psychiatrist family man, but I don't recall any women just throwing themselves at him.
I'm trying to think what else
The
he was
whiny community college professor. What was going on with the woman in this movie that she was just so eager to just give herself to him?
I don't know. Yeah, he's not a good-looking guy.
I mean, he's not hideous. It's just not the character that I see women throwing themselves at. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't a bad-looking woman.
No, she was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that. Go figure.
Odd. It was
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Strange time in the 80s. Maybe he had a good hookup for the cocaine or something. Make me the leading man and you can have all this cocaine.
What did you think? Did this hold up?
I mean, fairly well. I think the first time I saw it, I thought it was way funnier, probably because these are the types of jokes where if you see them coming, they sort of lose their bite, their cachet. Like I remember when Danny DeVito hits him with the frying pan, everybody lost their minds. That was the funniest thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it was just sort of like
you chuckle.
I knew it was coming. I've seen it. Probably the one thing that made me laugh out loud was Danny DeVito on the phone saying, "I don't want to give you too much. I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to tell too much of the phone, but I killed your wife."
I think we all laughed. I think that was the one time that we all collectively laughed.
That was a laugh out loud moment just because of Danny DeVito's delivery. He's for a guy who is now Frank Reynolds. He really does play that sort of I'm a schleppy sap.
Yeah.
He's good at that. He's also he's funny because he's also good at playing just
smarmy.
Like not even smarmy, but just gross.
Yeah.
Gross human beings.
Louis De Palma
and
Matilda's dad.
Matilda's dad and Frank Reynolds.
Oh, God. What are y'all doing in my apartment?
Yeah. I came out blasting. He's just, God, that show. That show is
so reprehensible.
Oh my God.
It's so funny though.
Yeah.
They really are the worst people. But he is just a national treasure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in everything. He is goddamn funny. Even when he does stupid Jersey Mike commercials.
Oh yeah. And he's got that great voice.
Yeah.
He's definitely got that voice, that rough, scummy voice. But
he also did a voice on your favorite show, Big City Greens.
Oh God,
he was Merv Stampington.
Who the hell is that?
One episode in 2023. Yeah, he does a lot of voiceover work actually. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great voice. He's got a unique sounding voice.
Yeah.
He was Homer's brother in The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I actually remember that episode.
Like Homer destroys his entire business.
All right. So I also feel like this is kind of a nice little blast from the past. This was late 80s. This came out in 87. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that one joke was the joke where we all kind of laughed out loud. But other than that, it was just okay.
It was humorous.
But without...
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little softer in my old age, but like that abusive type humor that I thought was so funny when I was a young boy, it kind of has lost its luster. Just the way
I agree.
Owen's mother was calling him names,
and then the way Larry
was calling Owen. I felt bad for Owen.
Yeah.
That he was constantly being sort of ridiculed for his appearance and everything. And he didn't really deserve it.
No.
He didn't deserve it at all.
And I think on this watch, I've seen it in bits and pieces through the years. I think I saw it once in the theater. I've seen it in bits and pieces on TV. I've never sat through it from start to finish like we just did. But on this viewing, and with all these decades of living since my first real viewing of this film, I think the scene with the coins really impacted me. I mean, I didn't cry, but it was such a beautiful moment, and it landed so differently to me at this point in my life because of being a parent, years of experience, thinking about my own relationship with my mother and my father, having both of them not be here with me anymore. I think that also impacts the way you look at things. And I think that scene landed very, very differently with me now. Again, it didn't make me weep, but I felt like a tenderness for Owen in that moment. Yeah. And even at the end, it was almost like he was looking for a family, right? like
Yeah,
Larry and his girlfriend, or almost like his parents, kind of. He was always looking for something. And even in that scene with the coins where he talks about his father, it was very bittersweet.
Yeah. Kids, I just spoke about how the humor didn't land with me the way it did when I was a kid. What did you think of like the sort of abusive type humor?
I didn't think it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
You didn't think it was when they were calling Larry, when all the people were calling Owen names?
Yeah, I thought that was just them being mean to him. I didn't know that the people who made the film made that with the intention of being funny.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys are living in a different time. Again, the 80s were very, very different. Even the late 80s.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was insulted. That's how we were when we were kids. You would when you were hanging out with your friends, you would joke around and insult them and
drop the R word.
People still do that.
People still do that, but it's probably not as prevalent as when your dad and I was. Yeah, when we were growing up, it was like.
It's still very prevalent.
You could speak into the mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it's too bad. I don't hear it as much. I certainly don't hear it on TV or movies.
Would a teacher hit some kid with the R word?
No.
Yeah.
They would in the 80s.
All right then.
People like saying the N-word a lot more often, though.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's definitely, I think, because it feels like your generation has, especially like you discovered the term hard R, so you're sort of differentiating things there.
Yeah.
But still, please don't.
Please don't say that word. Yeah.
Anyway, so I would definitely say the humor has changed, because back then that sort of insulting
was very well received.
Was definitely very well received. It was like status quo almost. Yeah. And now it's sort of like you could still have insulting humor, but not so much like on point. Like you know what, they do it well in Matilda, which was also Danny DeVito, because like the Trunch Pole is constantly insulting these children, little pustules.
The music in Matilda sounded like the music in this film.
Oh, it makes sense because it's Danny DeVito
directed by Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
But
that came out just a little bit after this, though.
Yeah. I guess if the sort of insulting humor is directed at somebody who is, it's just a cute little kid and you're calling him a disgusting pustule.
Well, I think also because that's still kind of funny.
It's and it's very exaggerated.
Because who talks like
this?
that?
You're kind of like, oh my God, Owen's mother's terrible.
Yeah.
She's just so abusive. And then as an adult, you're thinking, she's old and demented. Right. That's sad.
Right.
You don't feel anger or hatred towards the mother. You just feel that this was once a woman who's now just wrecked.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to remember, this is supposed to be like a dark comedy.
Right.
And it's weird. It's interesting how your sensibilities and your sensitivities
change.
Well,
I think
over
also
time.
being a parent, right? The things that you maybe found funny. I was 15 when this movie came out. The things I found funny at 15 are not the things that I find funny at 50. So, yeah.
Although I still pop every time Reagan vomits on Father Karras.
Would you stop with that? It's not supposed to be funny. I got news for you. That scene's not supposed to be played for laughs.
I love that scene. It makes me laugh every time.
I want to
also
question...
when David Warner's head gets chopped.
Oh, God. You are the worst. I'm not even speaking to you. All right, so why don't we wrap it up? I'm going to go around the table and get numbers. I'm going to start with myself. I think this was good. I think the thing that also made it good was that it was short. It's only an hour and 28 minutes. I think that if this film had gone longer, it probably wouldn't have been as enjoyable. I really, really still enjoy Danny DeVito's performance in this. I think he's a really great director. I think he's a really great storyteller. The script is really well done. I mean, it's not on par with like something like Citizen Kane, obviously, but for a short comedy from the 80s, I think you can still watch this and be entertained. It's not going to be as funny as like a Step Brothers or an Old School where you're laughing, right? But this is a different sort of comedy. It is, like you mentioned, this black comedy where in this period of time, being mean, I guess, was the order of the day.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it doesn't hold up as well on that part, but I think all the other aspects of the story move it along quickly enough that you sort of can stomach it. So I think on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was going to give this a number, I'd give this a 6.5, I think. What about you? Any final thoughts and numbers?
No, I agree with everything you said. I think what may have made this film stronger is having a more likable protagonist. Larry, as G so accurately said when the film went off, is an insufferable bitch.
Direct quote.
Direct quote.
Direct quote.
Yeah. And she is correct.
He
he is hard to like. And I think,
and even towards the even throughout the film and towards the end, I don't feel like he had any growth.
He was static.
No, I feel like his growth was in overcoming this hatred that he had for his wife. And the thing that's funny is that it happens in about 5 minutes with the discussion with a character that's introduced at the very end of the film, the old man sitting next to him who's like, I can't stand sitting next to you. I'm going anywhere else but in a room because I don't want to hear you talk about your wife anymore.
Right.
And that's the last 5 minutes of the movie. So that's where his growth, there's no growth throughout the entire film.
But is it because even at the end, I felt like he's still Larry. He's still
Larry, but his growth was in getting over the thing that made him
impotent to write.
We're not talking about like a major life change in him. He's still an insufferable bitch, but he's an insufferable bitch who no longer has writer's block.
Okay.
So that was his hero's journey.
Okay.
This ordeal has helped him overcome his lack of inspiration and his writer's block. So that's where I think it could have been a better film if Larry was just more likable. I don't know if that's Billy Crystal's fault, possibly because he excels in a character who's kind of sarcastic and annoying.
Yeah, yeah. In everything, even like City Slickers, which was also like a huge...
I've never seen any of the City Slickers movies.
Oh, really?
But I'm just going by this and what we talked about, like Running Scared, and
he's sort of a jerk, and I mean he's not in it a lot, but The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride, he is a jerk. He doesn't want to even help them until Carol Kane comes out and badgers him into helping them.
Yeah.
But that's his character. He's one of the guys in the balcony seat at the Muppet Theater.
He's Waldorf or Stadler.
Yeah, he's one. Okay, so I'll give it a 7.
7. Oh, what about you?
I was also thinking 7.
Nice. What about you?
Like a 6.5.
6.5. 6.5.
7.
7, 6.5. All right. I guess if you want to, it's on Tubi or Pluto TV and MGM Plus with a subscription. So go check it out. Still holds up. 1987's Throw Momma from the Train. And with that, we will bid you all a
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
good night.